and welcome to
Okay, this is going to be a short views and reviews episode, you'll be glad to know, specifically around DC and the new Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice movie, which I've just literally seen. So without further ado, let's go on with it. Truth be told, I am a Marvel fanboy. Always have been, always will be. Since I was knee-high to a Hobbit, I've appreciated Marvel that little bit more than DC. That's not to say I don't like DC. I've liked a lot of the DC things, from the TV series to the movies, especially the animated stuff from the likes of Bruce Trim and Paul Dini. Batman the Animated Series is probably one of the best animated shows that I grew up with. That being said, some of the movies I've had less of an enjoyment with. I mean, Burton's Batman's brilliant. Joel Schumacher's Batman's, yeah. And Nolan's Batman's 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So coming to the current state of DC, obviously there is an element of them looking at the success of Marvel, and who can blame them? Because whereas for a good long while DC had the market on the Hollywood adaptations, from the earlier Superman to obviously Batman, but then suddenly Marvel kind of took all their thunder, and by creating the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And say what you will about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's a consistent set of movies. I've enjoyed pretty much all of them a lot, but again, I'm a Marvel fanboy, so I might be slightly jaded towards being in that camp. But Man of Steel, I thought, was a huge disappointment. I mean, the Superman film, the original Richard Donner film, is a landmark movie. No matter whether you're Marvel or DC, it is that good a movie. Dated slightly, but in terms of creating character and there's a lot of hallmarks throughout all movies since, that it's set the template. But Man of Steel, I just thought was an absolute mess. Henry Cavill, great cast as Supes. Amy Adams, fabulous, one of my favourite actresses. Diane Lane, why she was given old age makeup when she's absolutely stunning anyway. Just seems like if you're a woman over 40, suddenly you have to be a mom or a grandma, which is nonsense. That's beside the point. The point I'm trying to get towards is Zack Snyder's vision of Superman was just a little bit weird. The colours just took out all the red, white and blues from Superman, especially the reds. And the end fight sequence, which was just, well, the two main fight sequences, in fact, through Smallville and later on in Metropolis, just felt so overblown, and we were in a kind of climate of the overblown third act. I mean, Marvel is a little bit guilty of that, but you know, I mean, especially the Smallville battle, it felt like it was a video game. You know, you might as well have had a controller hitting the quick time events or something. But yes, so my going into the new Batman vs Superman film, my expectations were low, and then the last 24 hours, some of the reviews have been coming out. I've not read them. I've only heard kind of vague hints, and the early buzz has not been good. So I went in with even lower expectations. So without further ado, let's go for the review. Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. The title alone gives you an idea of what type of movie it is. It's juggling a lot of balls of plot or setup. It's Man of Steel 2, it's The Dark Knight Returns, and it's also introducing the Justice League. The Justice League Begins, if you will. And in the hands of Zack Snyder, it turns into a bit of a mess. It really doesn't have a lot of focus going on. If anything, should I say, it feels more like a Batman movie with Superman making a recurring cameo. It's still within the world that's been created, Man of Steel, just expanded that little bit more, a lot more, in fact, in terms of bringing in kryptonite. Not really a spoiler. It happens within the first 5 minutes of the film, which is weird because I thought the whole idea with Man of Steel's version of Superman is there was no kryptonite. There was emotional kryptonite, and that was it. I will say before going any further, this is not going to be a spoiler-filled review. I don't see the point of it, especially as it's literally only just come out today. This is only going to be my initial reaction. I will probably go and see it again later in the week, and there might be an additional review or additional comments in the next video. But there might not be. I'm tired and I'm making this up as I'm going along. So anyway, the film itself has all these plot elements, and the first I don't know, felt like half an hour, maybe longer. It was a mess. Just everything was kind of being thrown at you. A new Batman, a new Alfred. Jeremy Irons was great. The introduction of Wonder Woman and Lex Luthor, and Lex was probably the character I had the biggest kind of change in attitude towards, because at first I felt he was going to be a kind of Mark Zuckerberg type character because of the casting of Jesse Eisenberg, but I grew to appreciate what Jesse Eisenberg was doing with the character. It was more almost like a Steve Jobs type interpretation of it. What if Steve Jobs were evil? What if? So that was great. I'm not a Batfleck hater, so I was actually quite impressed with what he did with the character. This is closer to something like the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns version of Batman. Some people have got issues with the idea of Batman killing, but I'm fairly certain in quite a few of the movies he's killed before. I know in the comics books that's not what he does, but Batman 89 version, there was a lot of deaths at the hand of the Caped Crusader. But the biggest issue I have with the kind of the movie itself is Zack Snyder's direction and the editing. Again, might be tiredness talking, but I had a major headache from the editing and the direction, because at points I had no clue what the fudge was going on. No clue. Stuff was happening. I'm glad it wasn't done in pointless vision. But even in 2D, it was just black on black on black, darkness, and things being thrown, and Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL's score kind of in the background or in the foreground. But I didn't hate the film, which surprised me. I thought I was going to come out kind of, pitchforks and everything like that, going, screw the movie, it's going to be rubbish, da da da. But it was fine. It did what it set out to do. It broadened the landscape of the DC movie universe, to the point where I'm intrigued to know where the Justice League movie is going to go. And I'm actually hopeful that Wonder Woman, the standalone movie, will just give us more of that character, because she was so underutilised in that. There are Easter eggs to the other Justice League members. By Easter eggs, I mean pretty much sledgehammer-sized, this is what's happening type things. But yes, if you enjoyed Man of Steel, you should really enjoy Batman versus Superman. Because it does do that. It has Batman versus Superman, and that alone is probably worth the price of admission, even if you can't see half of what's going on. So yes, so I'd say better than I hoped for, but my, my hopes were pretty low. So it's almost damning with faint praise, but I am going to go and see it a second time, and I didn't think I'd be quite on that sort of that thinking. I do still, however, think Deadpool is the better comic book movie so far this year. Again, Marvel fanboy talking, so take that with what you will. Thank you for watching. The usual blurb, please like and share, tell your friends. I'm on Twitter at MySoCalledBrain, got the Facebook page, and there will probably be a link to my blog below. Again, thank you for watching, and until next time, laters. Okay, so that's it. I think I'm going to go to bed now.